the first chapter of your proposal or your thesis, that is chapter 1, is supposed to have several features, or maybe the items that should be covered therein. The first thing is the introduction, background of the study to the phenomenon under investigation. You'll have a background of the variables under investigation, what has been done about those variables, the dependent and the independent. You'll have to cover them, give them a section in chapter 1 before you get to the statement of the problem. Then you'll also give us a trend of what has been happening. You can collect data on primary or secondary data and plot a graph, or maybe a line graph or bar graph to that effect, so that you can develop your problem over as you proceed downwards. You will tell us how the phenomenon and the variable under investigation have been changing over time, why it has been changing, the reason why it has been changing, and your expectation towards the towards the future changes, or the why you expect it to change in future and the way you expect it to change in future. So this one builds up on your problem. For example, if you're investigating the alcohol abuse in a particular county and how it has affected the youths or maybe the men in that area, you will check the numbers and the statistics over a period of time. For example, 5 years, 10 years. You will see the consumption over time and how it has been changing by use of a graph, and then you will now explain so that you can say, or maybe you can connect this to your problem. This will give relevance to your problem. It will give a motivation to your problem, and the reason why this particular problem should be looked into, so that we know you have a gap in your study. This one, the trends, will be explained in relation to what now has been done by other previous researchers and what they found out and what you expect to find out in your study that is different from what they found out, and how it will enrich the existing literature. Okay, that one is background of the study. Remember, in your background of the study and in the entire study, you're supposed to cite or maybe have citations that are not 5 years, more than 5 years to the current year. For example, from now we are in 2025, so your citations should be 2020 towards 2025, to 2024, so that it is more recent. And this can be you can have an exemption of this or the citations in your theories, mostly, because most theories have been done. Most theories will give very old citations, very old years. Maybe this one can be allowed in your citations in your theories. Remember, in your theories, that is in chapter 2, you will have the theory, whatever the theory states, the year that the theory was formulated or postulated, and the reason why you've chosen the theory and left the others, and how the theory applies to your study, why it is important, and how it explains your objective and the problem under investigation. Let's go back to chapter 1 where we had reached. In the statement of the problem, which is supposed to come now after the background of the study, you will have to explain the problem itself, the reason why you are investigating the problem, what has been done about the problem, what you expect to find different about the problem, what the world will lose, what the world will miss if you do not investigate the problem. This way, you are now able to expound or maybe build a case, or maybe build up a problem within your space, or maybe within your particular variables. And this way, it is easier to now have an exploration or an investigation. After the statement of the problem, you're going to have your research objectives, and research questions. In this section, one can decide to either have objective or hypothesis. Below those ones, you can also have your significance of the study, depending on the program or maybe format in your particular department or program. You can either have exploration, significance of the study, scope of the study, limitations of the study, and maybe chapter summary.